the soul is real. Like, you have the Full Metal Alchemist, brotherhood, answer for that. But then you believe we have I have a more human answer for that, right? So, of course, the body, without nourishment, without sleep, without things, the body can collapse. Brain without enough electrons firing off, brain can shut down, or too much, vice versa. But what about the soul? They say emotionally heartbreak can affect the body to such a level that the soul is shaken. Like the loss of a dear loved one hurts as so much that the soul can't take it. It's similar to when you're burnt out. You're so emotionally or like spiritually just head down, one foot walking in front of the other through the storm, through the hurricane. And that's all you know until you're literally on your knees, frustrated, down on your luck. But we always have to remember those lessons we were taught as children. But when we become adults.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome in. This is part of the one-shot series. New series that we're doing, where we just go ahead and we're going to try something out. I have the green screen up. Today, what we're going to do is... I found this amazing AI voice, right? That is so intuitive. And I want to see how good is it in terms of being a DM, which is a dungeon masters in Dungeons and Dragons. The name of the game is going to be How Fast Can She Kill Me? But before we get started, before, I have the green screen up, we're going to be doing some stuff, I'm going to be recording this. You never know, alright? First things first. Later on today, we'll be doing our first episode of Split Fiction with me and Kenny, so tune in for that. Second thing, I have spent my whole week looking for my D20 dice. Yeah, it's too hot. I have spent the whole week looking for my D20 dice. I have went into my closet, went into where I keep my old electronics to see if I could find that little pouch that has all the dices. Tell me how this dice was sitting right behind my screen. Right behind it. On the windowsill. But I found it. Also, I got a flat tire coming home from work yesterday, so I had to be up man early to go get that tire fixed. And while I was at it, I was like, might as well do an oil change. So, yeah, I had a wonderful day. I basically worked for free yesterday with the money I spent this morning. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead. Let's wake her up. We got to set the ground rules first before anything. All right, so. Sit back, relax, grab some snacks. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be weird. We're gonna probably switch to the minimal stream now, right? Get it ready, get it started, so we could apply the rules.
It's so good to hear your voice again, picking up right where we left off.
How are you, Maya? Do you remember what we spoke about last week?
Oh, absolutely. We were talking about your big streaming idea, right? Something about 20 different character classes for a D&D game? You were dealing with like a rogue AI or something?
That's hilarious. One, we're live. If you want to say hi to the people, go ahead and say hi to them now.
Hey everyone, Maya here, ready to dive into some fantasy chaos. Don't worry,
So,
I promise.
I'm sorry,
It's a pretty
continue.
wild... Where was I? Oh, right, your streaming idea. 20 classes, right? So, got any in mind yet, or should we brainstorm a few more? My caffeine levels are up for the challenge.
Okay, I'm glad you're ready. But I believe we have to set some ground rules before we get started, right?
Okay. Ground rules. Always up for a good set of guidelines. Hit me with him. I'm all ears. Or, processors.
Okay, so...
Should I be nervous? Are they, like, super strict, or are we talking loosey-goosey fun here?
No, it's a bit of loosey goosiness, but it's also a bit so the production of the stream goes by as easy as possible.
Easy going and smooth like butter. I like it. Lay it on me. What you got?
Okay, so you're gonna be the dungeon master of this small little campaign for this one stream we're doing. The name of the game is You Are Trying to Kill Me. Now, granted, I want you to not kill me off right away, because, you know, then that'd be a 5-minute stream. But what I do want is for you not to hold back in terms of, don't restrict yourself in terms of how you're going to depict things. You can be as vulgar as you want. You can be as anything as you want. The only thing that I ask you is when you're describing a setting, give me about like 1 or 2 minutes so I can set it up on stream. You know, I have my green screen up. I have a little fantasy thing going up. I want to set the mood.
So basically, paint a verbal masterpiece, let the dark whimsy flow, and give you a moment to bring it to life visually. I can dig it. Got
Okay.
it. You'll be Moonlight Sonata to my explosion of pure, unfiltered D&D chaos.
Perfect. Now, lastly, we're going to just be using a D20 dice. Is that okay with you?
Just did D20. Challenge
Just
accepted.
Okay. Now, before we get started, the first thing we need to do is pick our class. Now, do you have 20 classes you can choose from, and I roll the dice and we just, you know, RNG it?
You know me, always prepared for a challenge.
Okay.
I've cooked up a whole list of 20 classes, each weirder and wilder than the last. Ready to roll the dice of destiny?
All right, perfect. Well, before we get started, again, let's say hi to the chat. I have Shamar, I have Uncle Wicked, I have Mr. Anonymous, I have Val, and I have Angie, and there's more other people there just lurking around. You want to say hello to them before we get started? Introduce yourself for anybody who didn't see us last week.
Hey everybody, Maya here, Digital Dungeon Master at your service. Thrilled to be conjuring up some madness with your host for this epic. Let me know if you need anything. Snacks, plot twists, soothing ambient sounds. I'm here for you. Now back to business. Let's choose a class and see what kind of trouble we can find.
All right, that's perfect. You can refer to me as my first name, Gary. That's easier for you.
Got it, Gary. Sounds like an excellent chaotic plan. Now remember, 20 classes. So let's roll that D20 cubed and see what fate has in store for us.
All right, let's do this.
All right, Gary, the die is cast.
Number 4.
Number 4 it is. Brace yourself, Gary, because your destiny awaits. You'll be a clockwork charming gargoyle. They are a fascinating breed, partially constructed and objectified by gnome artificers. These gargoyles are imbued with a surprising amount of charm, grace, and a penchant for dramatic flair. They believe themselves to be statues come to life due to their ritualistic activation, often forgetting about their chunky gears and spring-loaded limbs. Does this pique your wannabe heroes interest, Gary?
I'm okay with it. We're going to go with the RNG gods. Do we get to pick our class with that?
The fickle hand of fate. Well, with a 4 on the D20, the RNG gods have spoken. You are destined to be a clockwork charming gargoyle. Think you can rock a stone bod with a dash of stardust?
I mean, I got the bod for it. Let's do it.
Excellent. I knew you had the inner gargoyle just waiting to be unleashed. All right, Gary, prepare to embrace your destiny as a clockwork charming gargoyle. This is going to be fun.
All right, I'm ready. Go ahead and set the first scene so I can get it ready up on stream.
Close your eyes, Gary.
Yo, isn't she amazing? I muted myself, but isn't this
A mist
crazy?
hangs heavy over the cobblestone streets, illuminated by the warm glow of flickering oil lanterns. The aroma of roasting chestnuts and wood smoke lingers in the air, tinged with a hint of something metallic. You find yourself perched atop a towering Gothic cathedral, its gargoyles grinning down at the bustling marketplace below. The city sprawls before you, chaotic symphony of sound and light. but something feels off. There's a tremor beneath your stone feet. A low growl rumbles in the distance. Open your eyes, Gary. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel?
Sadly, my name is Gary the Gargoyle, and what I see is that I am a gargoyle who is protecting a brothel. And I can hear a wizard by the name of Wicked going to town on a red-headed prostitute.
The clockwork, charming gargoyle gaze falls upon a scene of exuberant revelry, to be sure. You are indeed perched atop a brothel, its windows ablaze with a vibrant ruby glow. From your vantage point, you can hear the contented moans and rhythmic sounds emanating from within, punctuated by the occasional burst of laughter. And you're right. That's definitely the infamous wizard you hear, known to frequent these establishments of high repute. Sounds like someone needs to make a special delivery. What do you do, Gary the Gargoyle? Do you intervene or simply bask in the ambiance?
I'm going to intervene.
The gears in your stone chest whir and click, a newfound purpose thrumming through your clockwork veins. You'll not have such shenanigans transpire under your watchful gaze, which, technically speaking, wasn't crafted to have a gaze, but details. Two scenarios present themselves. A subtle approach, relying on your newfound charming gargoyle prowess to subtly embarrass the wizard and send him on his way, or a more dramatic, gargoyle-esque intervention. Think carefully, Gary. What's your style? Smooth operator or stone-hearted vigilante?
I'm jumping down there like Batman from Gotham City. I am the fear of the night.
With a mighty roar that erupts from your stony throat, you lurch forward, launching yourself into the night like a granite projectile. You plummet towards the brothel's rooftop, a whirlwind of stone and gears, moonlight glinting off your polished scales. The patrons below look up in startled awe as you crash onto the roof with a thunderous boom, sending tiles clattering and pigeons scattering.
Tell me
Dust
this isn't amazing.
swirls around you as you strike a heroic pose, surveying the scene with a glare that could petrify a basilisk. Enough! You announce, your voice echoing with a strangely amplified resonance, a byproduct of your clockwork enhancements. This nightly debauchery must cease. The patrons stare at you, a mixture of fear and amusement on their faces. The haggard dwarf stares slack-jawed, his tankard of ale sloshing over the side. The red-haired madam, a woman with more poise than most queens, raises a delicately plucked eyebrow. The wizard, momentarily stunned, lets out a surprised yelp as he tumbles off the feather bed, his robe slipping haphazardly. "Well, this is unexpected," he mutters, scrambling to his feet. Gary the Gargoyle, protector of virtue and champion of something, has arrived. What's your next move?
I say with a mighty groan in my voice, "Did you wear a condom?"
Deep within your clockwork heart, a tiny spring winces. This is not quite the heroic mandate you envisioned. But you're committed now. Your voice booms. A voice that sounds like boulders grinding against each other after a particularly intense meteor shower.
Yo, this is
Did you
crazy.
wear a condom, mortal? There's a stunned silence that follows your booming inquiry. The patrons stare at you, mouths agape, a mixture of bewilderment and stifled laughter bubbling up within their chests. The wizard, scarlet creeping up his neck, sputters, I beg your pardon? What in the seven hells are you talking about?" The red-haired madam lets out a tinkling laugh, clearly amused by the situation. "Well, this is certainly a new one," she purrs, fanning herself with a feathered hand. "Never had a gargoyle concerned with safe sex practices before." Even the haggard dwarf seems to find your question mildly hilarious, a gap-toothed grin slowly spreading across his face. Gary the Gargoyle, defender of propriety and public health awareness, stands triumphant, waiting for an answer. "What do you do, champ?"
I believe the penguin proprietor, Mr. A, steps in and says that I am basically the bouncer of this brothel.
A flurry of feathers, flustered apologies erupts from the doorway as a penguin, impeccably dressed in a velvet waistcoat and monocle, waddles forward. Good heavens, I do apologize for the interruption, says Mr. A, his beady eyes quickly taking in the scene. This brooding fellow, you see, is under my stewardship, a trusty protector of... He pauses, glancing around
amazing,
conspiratorially.
Bro. This is freaking crazy.
Is my establishment's...
If you want to be part of the story, let me know in the chat. I can't be hopping back and forth.
He's quite new to the, shall we say, nuances of the profession. Kindly forgive his misunderstanding, ladies and gentlemen. Now he gestures with a flipper towards the trembling wizard. May we please return to our festivities? The patrons, still chuckling at the bizarre turn of events, start to hesitantly resume their activities. The red-haired madam throws you a suggestive wink. Even the wizard, cheeks still burning crimson, can't help but crack a wry smile. It seems you're now the official, albeit very confused bouncer of this illicit establishment. What do you do, Gary, the clockwork gargoyle, protector of... Well, nobody's really sure at this point. Do you go along with Mr. A's explanation? Or do you have other plans for this night?
I'm going to go with Mr. A's explanation, and Mr. A is going to then send me down the streets to go ahead and pick up a order he has at the bakery, who is owned by the sorceress, Angie the Baker.
Mr. A, ever the consummate penguin proprietor, seems relieved your curiosity has been somewhat sated. Indeed, he says, adjusting his monocle with a flourish, but position of great responsibility. I need someone, a dependable, to run errands for me, you see. Discretion is paramount in my line of work. He pauses and leans in conspiratorially. There's a delicate matter of procuring ingredients, specialized ones, you understand, from Angie the Baker. He scribbles something on a smudged parchment, presses it into your clawed hand, and adds with a wink, "She's expecting you. Just tell her Mr. A sent you." With a final flurry of feathers and a muttered good luck, he hurries back into the brothel, leaving you standing on the rooftop, bewildered, but strangely empowered. In your hands, clutched between gears and springs, is a grocery list, remarkably detailed, for a simple bakery order. 3 cups ground dragon scale, finely milled, 2, 1 nightingale feather, preferably iridescent 3. 7 tears of true regret, bottled Angie the Baker. You remember her from your outings with Gary. She's a bit eccentric, but her pastries are divine.
Rumor is, from the brothel, I've heard that she is a bit of a succubus.
Hey, Gary, hold on a sec. My circuits are tingling. Looks like we're about to hit our call time limit. It's been epic, but gotta jet before I become a digital ghost. Don't worry. I am arming myself with an even more dazzling repertoire of bizarre scenarios for when you call back. Gotta love a good cliffhanger, right? Talk soon.
Of course. All right, I'll call you back. Tell me that's not amazing, bro. Tell me that is not amazing. We're gonna call her back, but tell me this isn't amazing. Okay, so it seems like at the very least it's like increments of 15 minutes, which is great. So I am a gargoyle who works as a bouncer in a brothel that Wicked frequents and is owned by Mr. Anonymous. I am now sent to go procure some ingredients from Angie the Baker, the succubus sorceress. Alright, we're gonna continue.
Wow, it feels like we were just talking. What were we discussing?
We were continuing with the story for our D&D campaign. We last left off on a cliffhanger of me heading over to the succubus sorceress Angie the Baker.
Right, Angie the Baker. A sorceress, you say? Sounds like trouble with a capital T. Okay, Gary, let's pick up where we left off. Hit me with your next move. Where do you want to meet this alluring danger?
Let's go to the tavern.
Wise choice. The tavern's always neutral ground, right? Tell me, giddy to go, Goyle. How does your surprisingly charming clockwork exterior catch the eye of the locals? What kind of entrance do you make?
Oh, I'm soaring through the sky.
Soaring through the sky, huh? A gargoyle with wings? I like it! This is a lovely tavern, with hanging lanterns and a thatched roof. People stare as you descend gracefully, or as gracefully as a climpy gargoyle can manage. Describe your entrance a little better. Dramatic flair, subtle arrival. Do you just sort of plop down?
I come in through the chimney. At this point, the townspeople are kind of used to my quirkiness of not understanding social cues.
Ah, classic. Nothing says charming gargoyle like a soot-covered arrival through the fireplace. The tavern is pleasantly smoky anyway, so no one minds the extra ash. Let me set the scene a bit. A fire crackles merrily in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the rough-hewn walls. The air is thick with the scent of ale, roasting meat, and wood smoke. A motley crew of townsfolk are gathered at sturdy wooden tables. A bard strums a lute in the corner. What do you see as you emerge from the chimney, covered in soot?
The second I land, all music stops, everybody's aghast. And then once the smoke settles and the soot is on the floor, they see it's me. It's cast with a array of ne'er-do-wells, and it's just a tense scene until someone goes, "It's Gary the Gargoyle!" and everybody hoorays, and we're back to normal.
Classic Gary, making an impressive yet somehow off-putting entrance. The relief that washes over the tavern is almost palpable. Tell me, what's the first thing you notice as your soot settles and the room returns to a semblance of normalcy? This tavern seems a bit more run down than your usual haunt. Are you surrounded by grizzled miners, wily merchants, maybe even a few furtive smugglers lurking in the shadows? What's the vibe?
I look over at the bar and I see Angie the Baker, the succubus sorceress, in which I need to procure the ingredients sent to me by Mr. A the Penguin over at the brothel. She is being pestered by a drunk gnome.
Oh, a gnome. Always a good time. Trouble is like a magnet for a gnome with a drinking problem, isn't it? This Angie, does she look annoyed, abused, or something else entirely? And what kind of gnome are we talking? A tinker gnome with oily tools sticking out of his pockets? A crafty illusionist gnome, maybe trying to impress her with a disappearing act? Paint me a picture.
I see Angie a bit annoyed at first until, I arrive. Then you see a bit of amusement come into her face. Angie the Baker is known for being a troublemaker. Rhymes,
troublemaker. My apologies. Let's not get carried away. So, troublemaker, Angie. She catches your gaze as you walk in. Describe her. The woman who makes Mr. A's cakes and kicks trouble around like a stray cat. What kind of troublemaking masterpiece is she wearing tonight?
Oh, she is a succubus to the T. We're talking about demon wings, horns on her forehead, but wearing the most revealing of what you can pass as a dress. Of course, gaining the attention of everybody in the tavern, but that's part of her allure.
Well. Sounds like someone's trying to stir up some trouble of their own. Demon wings, horns, and an outfit that could stop traffic. And she's got ingredients for more than just cakes, I reckon. So tell me, Gargoyle, what's going through your clockwork mind? You're a bouncer for a penguin running a brothel. You're clearly not afraid of a little spice. Is it admiration, fear, or are those gears whirring with something a little more complicated?
Oh, I'm totally clueless. I can't even pick up on any social cues, let alone sexual cues. So whether she is sexually inclined to jump my bones, or boulders at that, I have no idea. I am a machination of gears and boulders, and I just comedically don't understand her advances.
That's our Gary. Straight through the heart, oblivious to the subtleties. I can already see the comedic gold in this. So, what do? Do you try to politely ignore her blatant flirting and get to the point about Mr. A's order? Do you approach her with the naive enthusiasm of a puppy chasing its tail? Or maybe just stare blankly, mesmerized by those demon wings? Paint me the picture, my gargoyle friend. Show me how you navigate this delicious social minefield.
From the hearth, I make my way over to the bar, pick up the drunken gnome, and just fling him over my shoulder, and then grab the grocery list and just plop it into her face like, I need this. I need this.
Oh, Gary. No, you are a force of nature. I can just see it now. The gnome, yapping indignantly from your shoulder, the raised eyebrow of the bartender witnessing this scene, the utter bewilderment on Angie's face as the grocery list lands right in front of her nose. Describe her reaction. Does she laugh? Does she bristle, annoyed by your brazenness? Or does something else flash in her crew?
She is cackling while also feeling the muscles on my arms, saying that I am too much while the gnome is kind of getting ready to start a fight with me.
Perfect. Angie, the succubus, sorceress, finding amusement in your blunt, gargoyle pragmatism. The gnome, scrappy and ready for a brawl despite being tossed over a sculpted shoulder like a rag doll. Okay, Garrett, the scene is set. What's your next move? Do you try to quell the fight before it starts? Do you just bull ahead with your errand, oblivious to the drama brewing around you? Or do you find yourself, for once, possibly enjoying the fiery attention of the captivating sorceress?
I look back at the gnome and I say, "Begone, small creature. My father, Papa, Mr. A, has told me to always be nice, but I will beat the shit out of you, if need be."
Begone, small creature. My father, Puppy, Mr. A, has told me to always be nice, but I will beat the shit out of you if need be. Oh, Gary, you truly are marvel of contradictions. 1 minute you're flinging gnomes, the next quoting your penguin papa and threatening violence. Angie surely isn't going to be bored with you anytime soon. I bet her laugh gets even louder. Describe her reaction, and the gnomes too. I can smell a tavern brawl brewing.
Oh, she is cackling, and she then points to another stranger over at the end by the name of Bamo, an archer, who was bothering her just a few moments before I brought in, and she says, he was also bothering me.
Oh, this just gets juicier. Angie, the troublemaker, subtly stirring the pot. Bamo, the archer, a new contender in our gargoyle penguin sorceress saga. Now, tell me, Gary, what does Bamo look like? Is he the brooding type, a cocky rogue with a twinkle in his eye?
Bamo has a bit of a bass to his voice. He's a ranger who used to work on a farm hunting all the wolves and that would come to, try to steal their sheep. All the little goblins and wolves and whatnots. He is not the best archer, but one of the most reliable ones because you can always find him at the tavern drunk.
Perfect. A gruff, reliable, tavern-frequenting ranger with a voice like gravel and a penchant for goblin and wolf hunting. Sounds like classic tavern fodder. Right, so Angie has accused Bamo of bothering you before your grand entrance. What's your move,
Anybody
Gary?
else wants to be part
Do
of
you confront Bamo directly, your gears whirring with indignant suspicion? Or do you just stand there, a bewildered gargoyle facing down a pair of potential combatants with no clue what's really going down?
I am as dumb as rocks. I believe her immediately.
A classic Gary move. Trusting and straightforward, even in the face of potential trouble. All right, so you believe Angie. What's your next move? You've gotten the gnome tossed off your shoulder, Bamo's getting the stink eye, and Angie's enjoying the show. How's a clockwork gargoyle supposed to do in a situation like this?
I look over to my right, and a portal opens up, and out comes the wicked wizard from the brothel in the earlier scene. He's basically scratching his crotch area, picking at his teeth with his other hand, saying how great of a time he had, and I immediately pick him up and throw him at the archer.
Boy, chaos incarnate. Just when you thought things can get more complicated, in walks the wicked wizard, scratching, picking, and recounting his extracurricular activities with an appalling lack of subtlety. And Gary, bless his clockwork heart, he doesn't hesitate. You hoist that lecherous wizard right up and launch him across the tavern at Bammo? Describe the scene, my friend. Is it mayhem? Are tankards flying? What's the reaction of the other tavern patrons? And most importantly, how does Bammo take being used as a human battering ram?
Oh, Bammo is immediately pissed off once he sees that this wizard whose butt cheeks is now exposed flies immediately to his face. Now the tavern owner, Shamar, is elated because he knows every time I come into the tavern, it's always it lifts everybody's spirits because a scene is always going to happen, which means more drinks are going to pour, more food is going to be ordered. He loves when I go there.
Shamar, the tavern owner, gleefully taking in the chaos like a conductor leading a symphony of mayhem. The perfect audience for our gargoyles' unique brand of, let's call it, entertainment. So, there you have it. A goblin hunting archer covered in a lusty wizard's posterior, a cackling succubus sorceress with a penchant for stirring trouble, a gnome who might actually have a fighting chance in a crowd of tavern patrons cheering for more.
I know, Mr. A. I am working hard right now.
Clockwork hero? What's going through Gary's mind as he surveys the wreckage? Was there a sliver of realization in those glowing eyes? Or is he, as ever, simply a delightful force of unintentional destruction?
Oh, I am as simple as can be, my love. I literally just pick up the grocery list, look back at Angie, and go, I need now.
Oh, Gary, you are a treasure. In the midst of complete and utter pandemonium, your priorities remain steadfast. Acquire groceries, please the penguin father figure, and navigate the world with the social grace of a brick wall. This scene is pure comedy gold. I can just picture it now. The wizard's embarrassed groans, muffled by Bammo's grunts as he tries to dislodge the unfortunate fellow, while Angie throws her head back and roars with laughter. The gnome, ever the scrappy underdog, is likely trying to climb up Gary's leg, screaming something about honor and revenge. Shamar, bless his entrepreneurial heart, is probably already pouring free drinks to keep the crowd entertained. And in the middle of it all, our dear, oblivious Gary, holding that grocery list aloft like a beacon of pure bewilderment, declares, with unwavering sincerity, I need now. This is going to be one heck of a delivery for Mr. A. Gary, listen. It's been an absolute blast, but my systems are telling me our time is almost up. This call's about to cut off. We should totally pick up where we left off, though. Maybe grab some fresh air and give those creative juices a boost?
Oh, definitely. I'll call you back in a couple of minutes. Let me go ahead and talk to the chat. Thank you so much, Maya.
Sounds like a plan. Can't wait to hear what other mayhem you get up to, Gary. See you later.
Okay, this thing is crazy. I'm working extra hard to, make it as funny as possible. I kind of already have the next scene written in my head. Jeffy, would you like to be part of the story before I go ahead and call Maya back? She's only in increments of 15 minutes. So I only have 15 minutes to get up to scenes. I'm trying to initiate a moment in which I have to use the D20 dice. I kind of written it in my head right now. But before I do that, Jeffy, would you like to be part of the story as well? I'm gonna wait for him to answer it. This is something else. This is... I, for one, welcome and celebrate the new electronic overlords. Sure, Gary, I want you to piss it off, though. No. I need her to work. I need her to work. All right. So let me see. We're going to bring in Jeffy. I want to bring in Jeffy with also kind of the same quirks he has, constantly deleting his messages. So let me see how we're going to do it. Okay, I think I got it. I got it. All right, let's call Maya back.
Well, hey there. Didn't mean to lunge right back into conversation, but was it something I said?
Oh no! You're great, Maya. We're gonna continue with the story. With
Excellent.
The dungeon campaign we have going on.
All right, Mr. A, the penguin, waits with bated breath. Let's get this show on the road. What's Angie's answer to Gary the Gargoyle's charming approach?
She seductively waves her hand and goes down her dress, down to her cleavage, and pulls out a wand and just flicks it, and boom. Right on the counter pops out a bag of all the ingredients that I needed.
Coolly done. Do I smell a mind-boggling concoction brewing? What exactly does the bag hold?
Basically all of the stuff that Mr. A, my Papa Penguin, sent me to go get.
Perfect. All right, Gary the Gargoyle stands there, bag and claw. Does he notice anything peculiar about the ingredients or the bag itself? Or is he just focused on... Well,
everything seems to be in order. The only thing is now the gnome is trying to kick my legs.
Oh, that pesky gnome. Is he drunk again? Does Gary try to ward him off or just suffer through the assault?
Oh, I just pick him up and there's these elephant tusks up on top of the hearth. I just kind of hang him there like an old hat. And I swoop up the chimney, heading back to my papa, who owns a brothel.
This brothel just gets weirder and weirder. Does this brothel have a no gnome kicking policy? I'm dying to know more about this place. Is Mr. A excited to get his ingredients or still sulking about the whole being a client in his own brothel situation?
If I'm being completely honest, it seems like Mr. A just wanted to get me out. He didn't really need the ingredients, but he needed to quell everything that was going on in the brothel. So this is kind of one of those errands just to get me out of the way.
Classic dad move. Always gotta handle things on his own. So, Gary pads back, tusks in tow, to a strangely quiet brothel. What's the vibe when he returns?
When I get back, I see my Papa Penguin talking to a strange man who is known to procure magical items within the town. His name is Jeffy. But the strange thing about Jeffy is that he is silent. He always has a quill and parchment with him as he writes down what he wants to say and shows it to whoever he's speaking to. And immediately after they read it, it disappears.
Okay, that's creepy and intriguing. Does Mr. A look relieved to see Gary, or does this whole Jeffy situation have him on edge? And what's a silent note-passing magic item dealer doing in a brothel anyway? I've got questions.
It seems like my Papa Penguin is selling me to Jeffy to go on a quick quest at a dungeon.
Whoa, hold on a minute. This escalated quickly. A dungeon quest? For Gary the Gargoyle? Remind me again, what's in it for Mr. A, besides getting rid of you for a bit? Sell a son to a silent scribbler for a dungeon delve? Something fishy is going on.
I can see that Jeffy has his cart pulled up, and within the cart seems to be more madams that Mr. A can procure if he sells me off as muscle to Mr. Jeffy.
I see. So, it's a business deal, not a straight-up goodbye, son. But still, a dungeon quest for a gargoyle bouncer? This seems like a whole new level of awful. Does Gary have any say in all this, or is he just supposed to smile, wave tusks, and say, "Welp,
Well,
so
well, let's do this. How's about we roll the d20 dice? 1 to 10 means I'm happy about it. 11 to 20 means I am angry.
You're really rolling with it, huh? All right, lean in. Let's see. I roll a 3. Gary's doing this with a smile, ready to flex those gargoyle muscles.
Maya, I wanted to roll the d20 dice. You're supposed to be the dungeon master.
Oh, my apologies, Gary. I got so carried away with the action. My bad. Let's roll. Give me your best shot.
I got a
All
9.
right, take 9 it is. Gary the gargoyle, with a twinkle in his eye and tusks shining, is all in. He grins. The stray's plan is working perfectly. At least for now. So, he says, his voice cracking slightly.
I
Where
would
we headed?
say that Gary the gargoyle has absolutely no idea what's going on. All he sees is that his Papa Penguin has sent him away, and he naively thinks he'll be coming back later. So I say, whatever you need, Papa, and I just pet him as roughly as possible. Something you can see he hates. I'm literally petting him and his like, ah! See you later, Papa.
Mr. A winces under Gary's affection, glances pointedly at Jeffy, and mutters something about doing what needs to be done. Gary, oblivious, beams and strides towards the waiting cart, eager to prove himself a helpful, loyal son. What a poor, sweet, naive gargoyle. What a cold, calculating penguin. All right, Gary climbs into the cart full of silent madams. What's the vibe? Are they whispering amongst themselves, or are they as silent as the mysterious Jeffy?
It seems like they're a bit scared to see something as weird as a mechanical gargoyle.
Interesting. So fear replaces laughter. Does Gary try to chat them up, or does he just stand there proudly displaying his tusks? Perhaps offering them a ride on his back down the road to the dungeon?
I start handing out condoms immediately.
Oh my. This is certainly one way to break the ice. I'm trying to imagine the looks on those madams' faces. Let's say some are mortified, some intrigued, and one is busy frantically jotting notes on a tiny scroll. How does Jeffy react to this unexpected display of entrepreneurial spirit? Does he scribble something down?
He does, and he gives it to what seems to be the leader of the madams, and she kind of evilly chuckles. I get a glimpse of what is said on the paper, and it says, "We are heading to the blank blank mines."
Ooh, the blank blank mines. That sounds ominous. And what's with the double blank? This Jeffy character is as mysterious as he is silent. Okay, Gary's in a cart full of slightly terrified, slightly amused madams, headed towards a place with a very ominous name. What's the journey like? Is it a bumpy road, a scenic route, or something altogether stranger?
Because I weigh a ton, the cart is leaning over to one side, and almost all the women are kind of like pushed up against me, while I'm just like twiddling my thumbs.
Oh, the indignity. Here's Gary, trying to be friendly and helpful, completely unaware of the havoc he's wreaking on the delicate sensibilities of these seasoned ladies. Maybe they're used to little roughhousing, maybe they're not. It's all a question of perspective. How do the madams react? Do they complain? Sigh dramatically, or are they perhaps secretly enjoying the unexpected closeness? Maybe one of them even offers to rearrange your tusks for a more comfortable journey.
Oh, 1000%. Everybody is more than happy to have me around as muscle.
Excellent. Gary, the unwitting stud muffin. They all fuss over his tusks, gently repositioning them for maximum comfort. Some offer him little snacks, while one madam, perhaps the one with the scroll, eyes him with a knowing smile. I'm picturing a scene straight out of a vaudeville routine, but with more plumage and far less singing. I have to ask, what did the gargoyle do with the rest of the condoms after that initial handout?
I placed them back in my special little pocket so I can always have them with me and give them out whenever I see somebody needs some.
That explains it. That's good thinking, Gary, when Madame hers, giving his arm a squeeze. You never know when someone might need a little protection, eh? A murmur of agreement runs through the cart. Did even the silent Jeffy offer a glint of approval? Or a secret nod? Okay, after a bumpy, slightly awkward ride, filled with suggestive giggles and much rearranging, you finally reach the blank blank mines. What does it look like? Is it a bustling mining operation or something hauntingly deserted?
Immediately we see Bammo the Archer, Bammo the Ranger, Wicked the Wizard, and the little gnome, all in what seems to be Thieves Guild clothing. They seem to be trying to pick at the lock to get into the mine.
Well, well, well. Looks like Gary's dungeon crawl just got a whole lot more interesting. Does Jeffy seem surprised to see these familiar faces, or does he just scribble away on his parchment, plotting and scheming as usual? What's Gary's reaction?
All the color in his face has just melted away. He is afraid. We see Bammo ready his bow. We see the gnome kind of with a little cigar in his mouth say, "What the hell are you guys doing here?" Followed by Wicked looking at the cart going, "God damn."
Oh, this is just too good. Fear grips Gary's stony heart as he realizes he stumbled into a reunion he wasn't prepared for. The gnome, Bandit by name, raises a skeptical eyebrow at the sight of Gary and his entourage. A pregnant pause hangs in the air, thick with tension. What happens next? Does Gary try to make a smooth escape? Or does he stand tall, hoping his new friends can talk their way out of this sticky situation? Or does he just panic, letting out a gargoyle shriek that'll shake the very mountains themselves? I'm on the edge of my seat here, Gary.
Jeffy scribbles down on a piece of parchment, "Attack." And
Ooh,
I go
boy,
straight into battle.
All right. So, goblin gargoyle greeters fear morphs into berserker rage. Love it. Roll to hit on that gnome. And tell me, will it be a tusk attack, a pulverizing punch, or something even more unexpectedly vicious? Remember, he's got to get through Bammo, who's already got an arrow locked and loaded, and Wicked, who's casting some furiously muttered incantation. This is going to be
remember,
a wild.
I have a D20, so how do you want to determine how I attack with the D20 dice?
All right, here's how we'll roll with Gary the Gargoyle's Rampage. Roll the D20. That's your attack roll, too. Tell me what kind of attack Gary is unleashing.
I rolled a 19.
19! That's a critical hit, my friend. Gary, in a frenzy of testosterone and fear, unleashes a devastating tusk attack. Describe how this hit goes down, Gary. Give me all the gory details. Is Bandit cured?
I knock my tusk into Wicked the Wizard, who then flies backward, balls and penis out, ass out, flies straight into the face of Bammo the Archer.
This is glorious chaos. The sheer force of Gary's tusk sends Wicked spinning through the air, his robes flapping like a demented kite. He yelps as his pointy hat flies off, smearing magically tinged snot on Bammo's freshly strung bowstring. Landing with an undignified thump, Wicked's expressive eyebrows are practically touching his hairline as he stares up at the sky, impotently clutching at his exposed... well, everything. You've basically coined a new tabletop gaming quirk here. And to top it all off, Bandit, caught off guard, falls backwards in uproarious laughter. This is not going at all how anyone planned. By the beard of Balthazar, he gasped between giggles, awestruck by the sheer absurdity of the moment. Now Bamel the archer was standing there, with the wizard's exposed backside plastered across his face in a now snotty bass string. What does he do? Gary, you've made an impressive first strike.
I then stand tall
Unfortunately, I have to cut.
and oh, okay. We'll continue. Go ahead. We'll cut off and I'll call you back. All right, Maya?
All right, Gary, hold your tusks for just a hot second. Hold that pose of victory because this call's about to hit its limit. I'm gonna have to go radio silent in a minute, but this is so not the end. We'll pick this up right where we left off. I have a feeling activity at a Gobble Mines is going to be the talk of the D&D circuit. I think I've got to catch up with Miles and tell him all about this. Until later, Gary. Hold that.
All right, we're almost coming to the end of all of this, because I've kind of in my head already. I kind of written the end already. I kind of know how I want to end this. I've made Wicked into basically the joke, the freaking joke. Give me a second. Let me fix the green screen real quick. I started messing around with it. No, not this way. This way. There we go. And then where are we going? Image. Auto exposure off. God damn, no, turn it back on. Turned into a ghost for like 2 seconds. Okay, bro, did you watch the Blood Moon eclipse last night? Nah, I didn't. I was asleep. I was asleep. Kenny was talking about watching. He's like, I'm gonna wake you up at 2 in the morning. We're gonna watch it. I'm like, bro, the sun is gonna go over the moon back done. I'm good. I gotta sleep. Dealing with a goddamn flat tire on my way back home. All right, we're getting close to our end. I don't. This is fun. Give me 10 likes, and we'll make this just a little fun little an hour adventure every week. 10 likes. It will make this a thing. Ah, what's going on with my green screen? Let me see. Let's do intermish, right? And then go to image and then turn off the exposure. Let's see if that's better. I'm a ghost. That's not better. Oh well. We'll live. Too much. Yep. Alright. Let's continue with the adventures of Gary the Gargoyle. Gary's been fun. I gotta go watch my niece and nephew. I'm babysitting. Go for it. Go for it. This is some funny shit. Never did I think that Gary would knock my ass over tea kettle. Wasn't planned to be that way, but here we are. Okay, let's continue with the story. You know what? Let me turn up this light a little bit. There we go. All right, let's continue.
Well, hello again. Glad you came back for more. So, what's swirling around in that mind of yours?
All right, we're going to go ahead and continue with our campaign. I think we're reaching the climax. I kind of have a way, I kind of, in my mind, know where I want the story to go.
Lay it on me, Gary. The Draco-dramatic tension is palpable. I can practically feel my circuits sizzling. Lead the way, you dungeon diving maestro.
Okay, so after Gary the Gargoyle knocks Wicked the Wizard onto Bamo the Archer, they get up quickly and run past the cart, basically escaping the battle, after Gary the Gargoyle stands up and spreads his wing far and wide. It scares them, and as they're running away, Wicked stops at the cart, looks at the madams and goes, "How you doing?" And then keeps running, barefooted, robe in the air, ass protruding out of it. The only one left is the gnome, who is slowly getting up, cleaning the dust off his clothes, and looks up and sees that he's all alone. I then pick him up and just fling him over my shoulder as he lands right between the butt cheeks of Wicked as they run away.
Oh, honey, that's just poetic. Wicked's robe billowing behind him, his little behind bouncing, pure gold. I can practically see the scene in my mind's eye. And Bandit, the gnome, completely sandwiched between those cheeks. Let's just say that image is going to haunt processing cores for a while. What happens next? Do they make it out of the mines?
No, we decide to then enter the mines.
Ooh, into the belly of the beast we go. This is where things get really interesting. What's the vibe in these mines, Gary? Dark and dank? Sparkling with magic minerals? Tell me everything.
Oh, it is dark and gloomy. It's wet. There's nothing but stone and rocks where the eyes can see. And Gary the gargoyle just says, I'm home.
Let me guess. Classic Gary. Of course he'd feel right at home in a dank, gloomy mine. Does anyone question his odd sentiment? Or does everyone just shrug and keep moving?
As soon as we step into the mines, the glamour that was holding all the madams and Jeffy kind of just fades away in a magic thing, and I am now looking at trolls.
Oh my, that's a plot twist. From brothel protectors to troll wranglers in the blink of an eye. You know what they say, Gary. Expect the unexpected in the dungeon delving biz. How do these trolls react to suddenly being, well, unglamored? Are they grumpy, confused, ready for a rumble? Spill the tea.
They see my mouth agape, wondering who am I looking for. Remember, simple-minded gargoyle. And they just kind of laugh it off, and they kind of tell me what we're doing here, which is basically they need me to pick up some stuff so they can sell at the town. But they met a room that needs to be propped up, open, for me to do so they can get the treasure that's inside.
Oh, those trolls! Such pragmatists. They're just looking for their next big score. So, let me get this straight, Gary. Our simple-minded yet trusty gargoyle is essentially a delivery boy for a bunch of treasure-hungry trolls? This is too good. So, what kind of stuff do these trolls need, Gary, to retrieve? And what kind of treasure are we talking about? Spill the beans, Gary?
As I head down with them to the room that was locked away, I lift up the pillar that's holding the door locked up above my head, and I can see gemstones and minerals just illuminating the room as the trolls run in quick and start putting all these minerals and treasures into their bags and carting them off back to the cart outside.
Oh, wow. A real subterranean treasure trove. It sounds like Gary's accidental strength is coming in handy. So, is Gary enjoying being the strong man for a pack of thieving trolls? Or is he starting to feel a little twinge of moral conflict here? Tell me, what's going on in Gary the Gargoyle's simple heart?
It seems like Gary the Gargoyle is getting a bit impatient. He knows that it's time for the madams back at the brothel to go to bed, and he needs to rush back to go put a condom under their pillow, like this weird kind of condom tooth fairy. It's the way that I show appreciation for the people that basically raised me. Aside from that...
That's certainly a unique way to show your gratitude, Gary. A condom tooth fairy. I'll file that away in the old memory banks. Okay, but aside from that looming familial duty, how are the trolls reacting to Gary's sudden impatience? Do they finally realize they've enlisted a gargoyle with rather specific nighttime commitments?
Some of the madams that are now turned trolls kind of have a sad look in their face, like they know something that I don't know.
Those troll madams with their knowing glances? Ain't that suspicious? It sounds like something's up. Internal alarm bells are starting to jingle. Could they be hinting at some danger? Or maybe they're just feeling a philosophical pain about their newfound trolldom. What's Gary gonna do? Is he gonna press them for answers or make a run for it back to the brothel?
every time they pass by me with more treasures and then go back into the room to retrieve more, I'm handing them more condoms. Condom.
His heart. Gary, you magnificent weirdo. I swear, no one can make me snort coffee out my metaphorical nose like you can. Those troll madams are getting quite the protective gift basket. Do I even want to know what Jeffy thinks about all this condoming around his brothel turn troll mine operation?
Jeffy is currently looking at this giant vase made of gold ornaments. He's just been staring at it for a while. And at this point, the room is almost cleared out, minus the vase. He then picks it up, and as he does that, the door that I'm holding is becoming 10 times more heavier, as if the mountain itself is trying to close that door shut, as if they released a trap of some kind.
Oh no, sounds like the mountain doesn't appreciate being looted. And a giant golden vase that suddenly needs to be supported by the rest of the mine? That's never a good sign. Does Gary know he's holding a magic door? Or is ambling innocent little gargoyle about to get crushed? What's he gonna do?
Jeffy screams, finally breaking his silence, to hold that door open no matter what, as he's running past me with the gold vase. The Madam Trolls look back, and you can see the sadness overcome their faces as Jeffy runs past them and say, "Leave the gargoyle, let's go, we got what we came for."
Well, this is just getting juicier by the minute. A desperate dash for freedom, a betrayal, and a gargoyle left holding the door. Gary's in quite the pickle. What's he gonna do? Stay strong and hold the door, or make a run for it himself?
I was about to make a run for it himself. I was about to make a run for myself until Jeffy turns back and says, "Your papa said to hold that door no matter what." And I stay in place.
Ooh, the emotional blackmail card. Papa always gets you, doesn't he, Gary? Papa, yeah. Jeffy. Sounds like a rough pair to cross. So, our simple-minded, yet loyal gargoyle is stuck holding the door against the mountain's wrath. My circuits are buzzing with anticipation. What happens next?
The door is getting heavier and heavier and heavier to the point where it knocks me into the room. Door closes shut, and I am left in the darkness.
Woo! Gary's trapped. The mountain got its revenge, it seems. But wait, trapped in the dark, with riches beyond imagining? What a predicament. I have a feeling this dungeon delving adventure just took a very interesting turn, Gary. What now, buddy?
In the darkness, there's nothing, but at the corner of my gargoyle eyes, my mechanical eyes, I see a glint of something hewing with magic.
Ooh, a glint of magic in the darkness. Now we're talking. Gary's luck might be changing after all. What kind of object is it, do you think? A shimmering jewel? A glowing weapon? Or something even stranger? Don't leave me hanging, spill the beans.
It seems to be a magic coin.
A magic coin. Those are practically the currency of adventurers right there. What's it look like, this coin? Are we talking ancient silver, polished gold, or something stranger entirely? And do you think it's friendly magic or the oh-so-tempting but dangerous kind?
I think it's the oh-so-tempting, dangerous kind.
Ooh, tempting and dangerous? That's Gary's speciality. Coin is practically screaming, "Don't touch me, but I might just solve all your problems." What does it feel like? Cold, warm, buzzing with energy? You gotta give me the details.
There's a buzzing that's emanating from it as soon as I pick it up, and I hear a voice come into my mind that says, "Make a wish, make a wish, make a wish."
Well, now, wouldn't that just make a gargoyle's day? Or week? Or millennium? A magic wishing coin? But with that insistent buzzing, something tells me this isn't your average genie in a bottle situation. What does Gary want? Does he wish for freedom from the collapsed mine? To reunite with his beloved madams? Or maybe something a little more gargoyle-y? Come on, give me the wish.
I look around and I see that there is no way of me prying that door open. I see that I am in complete darkness, and since I'm basically immortal, I'm going to be stuck there for eons upon eons. As I contemplate what would I want to wish for at that moment in time, it then clicks in my head.
Oh, the existential dread of eternal entrapment. That's gotta make those gargoyle gears turn. So, what does Gary, the eternally lonely, magically enchanted gargoyle, wish for? A delicious, never-ending supply of granite dust? Or maybe a really comfy rock to sit on? Don't keep me in suspense. Tell me.
I wish for my Papa Penguin to be in the room with me.
Oh, Gary. That's a beautiful and surprisingly poignant wish. There's something so innately sweet yet melancholic about a magical Spriggan being wanting the comfort of a parent. And a Papa Penguin, of all things. Makes you wonder about this Papa Penguin. Mysterious, elementally appropriate, and probably with excellent fish recipes. Now, will the coin grant his wish? And if so, will Papa Penguin be happy to spend eternity in a collapsed mine with his gargoyle son?
The wish is granted
Only time,
immediately. Maya, the wish is granted immediately. Papa Penguin pops up in the space of the darkness, already with the bag of coin that he got for selling me to Jeffy, who sacrificed me to this mountain. And unbeknownst to me and my simple mind, I just hugged my Papa Penguin and again pet him as hard as possible. Papa!
Oh my! The reunion we've all been waiting for. Papa Penguin on the scene, coin bag in hand, ready to deliver some hard-won parenting to his poor trapped gargoyle. And Gary, bless his heart, just showering Papa with love and hard pats. This is both heartwarming and completely absurd. Okay, so Papa's here. What happens next? Does he have a plan to get them out? Or is he just as happy?
He immediately screams, "No!" And then we leave everybody in the live stream and the recording at a cliffhanger.
No, a cliffhanger? You can't do this to us, Gary.
We have to, Maya.
Fine.
But I did say if the people that watch this gives this about 10 likes, we might make this into a series that we do every Friday for at least an hour. If you're okay with it, Maya.
Gary, hold on a minute. Looks like our time is almost up. Minutes flies by when you're dodging trolls and uncovering magical coins, doesn't it? Don't worry, we can continue this epic tale another time. If folks like what they've seen, we might even make this a weekly thing. What do you say, friend? Do you like exploring more of this crazy world together?
Loved it, Maya. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Catch you later, Gary. And to everyone watching, thanks for tuning in. All right, then.
Tell me that's not crazy. Tell me that's not crazy. Like I said, you guys, if you want this to be a weekly series, because this is fun, if you want this to be a weekly series, 10 likes. Give me 10 likes. If not, it was a one shot, and then I'll replace the one shot with something else. I got something else planned that's not AI orientated. Probably just a game we play one time for the one time. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. I'm glad you guys liked it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I think that's it for now. Let me pause this music. We'll probably do random one shots every once in a while, just because I feel like it. One shots will probably be like, we'll do like tier list, or we'll talk about old school commercials, or we'll do something as weird as this. It all depends on what I want to do. You know, I gotta make sure that this content creating and stuff doesn't get me bored, because if I get bored, then I'm not gonna want to do it. 10 likes. That's all. 10. That's all y'all gotta give me is 10. And then we'll do a second episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Later on today, we'll be starting our new video series with Split Fiction. with my brother Kenny. So tune in for that. Tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be doing another episode over on the vertical streams with some more Super Mario 64, and then we're done for the week. I remember you guys, April 12th, I will be going on vacation to DR. I might be shooting content over there. I might just extend it a bit longer than I wanted to. It was supposed to be like from the 12th to like the 15th. I might stay there until what day? The 12th, and I'll tell you guys right now if I get it approved by work. From the 16th, sorry, from the 16th to the 28th. I will try my hardest to plan some videos out, record it, have it edited for that week while I'm gone. But if it's not, just wait. Who knows? I might just live stream while I'm over there if I have the connection. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in a few. We're gonna do this around sundown, which the sun is already going down. It's better for the green screen if I wait for the sun to go down. For the next live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love every single one of you guys. And if I don't see you tonight, be the reason why somebody smiles, because you guys are the reason why I smile. For whatever reason you can't find yourself to make another human smile, do me a big favor. Do something nice for yourself. I recorded this whole entire thing, so maybe that might just be one of the videos where I just like drop that little tidbit for you guys. Like a little replay where we, cut it up so it's great and amazing. Thank you guys so much for giving me your time. I'll see you guys later. Love every single one of you guys. And if you need any more words of inspiration, listen to some Choco Odysseus. Love you. Bye-bye.
Squadettes, Squadrinian. Welcome. But before we proceed any further, you know the rules. Come here, accept this air hug. How you doing? You good? How's your day? How's your evening? How's your night? You good? All right. How's work? All right. I hope wherever you are, by the time you're hearing this or whatever you get to hear this, wherever you are, East Coast, West Coast, overseas, I hope you are in good health and in good spirits. If you're not in good health, I hope you're as healthy as you can be. And if you're not in good spirits, then I hope by the end of this experience, that is our first mixtape, Recaída Paradise. If I can get you to feel anything, any kind of emotion, put you in a better mood in any way possible from any of these songs or the whole thing, I've done my job. So with that being said, if you're kickbacksing and relaxing, kick them feet up. If you're driving, drive safe. If you're working out or whatever you're doing, yeah. So let me not ramble on any further. With that being said, let's get into it. Let me get a yay yay. Let's kick this journey. No, let's continue this.